Hello, I'm CVRV. Those people who have been previously subscribed to my channel know that I've done a lot of different content over the course of the age of the channel, from Arc of War, shorts for battle combat. I've talked about tabletop role-playing games and things with Wizards of the Coast from a risk standpoint, and I've decided to scrap all that. So here I sit. I am not leaving YouTube. I'm actually just getting started. So what am I going to do with this channel? And I decided that as I get older and as I've had conversations with friends and family, I am going to do some things that I have a passion about. One of the passions that I have is history and storytelling. And what I decided to do was, it's been within the last 3 weeks. Those people that had known me from the games that I play, because we've talked about it a little bit behind the scenes and above the table, is I live in North Carolina. I am actually in the process of packing up and moving and selling and moving home. Now, the reason why I'm moving home, and this is for my friends up there who I always said that once I left I was never going to come back, hell would have to freeze over. Well, it's frozen. In the last few months I've had conversations with members of my family who have had health issues. I myself have health issues. But the reason behind it actually comes from my kid. So to give some background on myself in more detail, I am a 5th generation graduate of Ferris State University in Big Rapids, Michigan. My great-grandfather, my grandfather, my dad, my mom, myself, we all graduated from Ferris State. About a month ago, my son sat down and said, "Dad, I want to move back. I want to move up to Michigan." He's been there a couple times, but he has never really been there. And I was like, "So what do you want to do?" He goes, "I want to go to Ferris like you guys did." I'm like, "Okay, how do you plan on doing that?" And he's like, "Well, I need to move up there." I'm like, "Okay, how do you plan on moving up there?" "I don't know." And then I talked to my parents, and they were talking about some things, and I'm like, "Okay, I guess it's time to come home." So I started reaching out to people over the last 3-4 weeks. Some friends, some acquaintances, and in the process I started telling my son stories about Michigan. Not just Detroit, but the entire lower peninsula as well as the upper peninsula of Michigan. My friends from way back, going into college in the 90s, know that at one point in time I was actually a student where I was going to get my degree in education to teach history. I love history, and I've never really talked about where I'm from. I talk about my military life up to 16 years old, and then I just kind of cliff notes where I lived in Michigan. So Ferris State is in Big Rapids. That's actually my mom's and dad's hometown, but my hometown is a small town called Bear Lake. I moved there when I was 16 years old, and I moved in with my grandparents. We were between transfers. It was the first Gulf War. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I was 16 years old, moving from Honolulu, Hawaii to Northwest Michigan, East Nowhere, Michigan. So those people that are from Michigan, yep, I'm a troll, and I'm proud of it. And what I'm going to do with this channel, because I have a love for that town that I've never explained to anybody. From Bear Lake days and 4th of July to the hunting and the fishing and the things that you can do in northern Michigan that kind of get glossed over because people don't talk about their personal experiences. But I have a love for small towns. Bear Lake, Onekama, Coatmesh, Free Soil, that entire area. There are towns in small towns in Wexford County. There's you get up towards Mackinac and Traverse City, Kalkaska, Petoskey. It's rich with history on those towns. So as I pack up here, I need to start developing and reaching out to these village councils because I want to profile them. I want to give them a voice. Bear Lake, and I'm going to talk about Bear Lake a lot because Bear Lake is my hometown. I'm a graduate of Bear Lake High School, class of 1992. Okay. I worked there at a small mom and pop grocery store until I was 21, 22 years old. Started working there when I was 16, and I want to profile. The store's not there anymore. There's a lot of things that aren't there anymore, and that's part of my reason for wanting to do profiles on these towns, because in 30, 40 years, a lot of things have changed. So I'm going to take the opportunity to profile the histories of these towns and give them a voice, and show the world what small town living is like. When people talk about Michigan, everyone thinks of Detroit. It's not the case. And I love Detroit, don't get me wrong. Great concerts, great culture. I have friends that live down there. And I'm going to take that opportunity to give a voice to, not necessarily the voiceless, but give people a reason to visit some of these places. When it comes to fishing, there's a small place up on the North Branch of the Osable River. I fly fish. So going back up there, there's a place up there on the North Branch that I absolutely love. I like going across the Straits of Mackinac, the Mackinac Bridge, not just for Sault Ste. Marie, and going up to Houghton Hancock to the Maritime Museum up there. But I've also done the polar bear plunge in Lake Superior. I've done a lot of things up there. And there's a rich culture. It's like Winterfest up in Marquette. There's a lot that goes on in the state of Michigan that can really use additional profiling. And I want to give the history, where it started, how it started, and give people the opportunity to experience it themselves if I can time everything correctly. Because I had a 26-year career in corporate world, and as I come to the end of it, I'm an independent consultant for the most part these days. But I'm looking at doing a very simpler life. I used to be a meat cutter, and I kind of want to go back and do that, find a meat market that can use a good hand and do that kind of thing. Maybe do some consulting on the side, just to keep this channel and another channel that I'm going to do going, because I'm going to set up another channel called Campfires and Crockpots to do Depression era and 70s, 80s, 90s related pantry cooking that was done when I was a kid. Teach people how to can, if I can get it set up. I need to talk to some people about who have property, teach people how to make maple syrup. I have recipes for brats. I have, which is basically a Nuremberg brat. I have a recipe for breakfast sausage, things like that, and teach people how to cook either on a campfire using pudgy pie irons. I'll get into that once all that stuff starts to come back around, and how to do things on the cheap by walking into your pantry and making a good hearty meal that'll get you through the winter, because that's the way I was raised. And I'm also going to do some ethnic cooking that I learned over the years too on that channel. But long story short, welcome to CVRV, this channel, and welcome to A History of Michigan.